Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the Global Virtual Summit 2026, Rebecca. And before going to start your session, I want to introduce you to our audience.
Oh, okay. So you'll introduce me.
Yeah,
All right. And I have a slide up that's sort of an introductory slide as well. So I
oh,
just leave that up right now.
yeah, yes, please.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right.
Yes, Rebecca, please move forward. Can you give me a minute, please, so I can brief you to our
I
audience?
can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Rebecca Alexander is a certified high performance coach, mind body psychotherapist, transformational life coach, communication specialist, and teacher who helps women transform their relationships and careers by authentically showing up as themselves. Blending neuroscience, mind body integration, and cognitive and experiential healing approaches, she draws on over 25 years of personal and professional insight to guide deep self discovery. Grounded in her own recovery journey, she creates a compassionate space for transformation and a deeply committed to helping others to live and love who they truly are. That was an interesting bio, Rebecca, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Melinda. Hello, and welcome to Cultivating Wellbeing from the Inside Out, Embracing Your Inherent Radiance. I am Rebecca Alexander, and I'm so pleased to be here with you today. How many of you are ready for more freedom to live radiant well-being? Yeah. Um, I'm going to stop sharing this slide there. And I don't see the audience. So I'm going to assume you're there. So, yes, how many of you are ready to live radiant well-being? Wonderful. Yes. I believe that we're all inherently valuable. Thank you. I believe we're all inherently valuable, but we're not raised to believe that. We're taught to seek that value outside ourselves. When we can recognize and trust our inherent value, we can live radiant well-being, a radiance that's not dependent on anything outside of us. Athletic and observant, that's how I would describe myself as a child. I was born the middle of three, all girls, and I loved being outdoors. When I felt the wind in my hair and the sun on my skin, I I was alive with a passion and a vitality that was much bigger than my 6-year-old body. And whether I was riding my bike or hopping over hay bales, I felt energized, loving and loved all at the same time. I was full of freedom and joy. I didn't always feel that way though. When I was home with the family, I was quiet and withdrawn. I remember one evening, I was at the playground playing, and the sun was setting, so I knew it was time to go home. As I got near my back door, I heard my father's loud yelling. It was a frequent, familiar sound for me. As I got closer to the door, it was the only sound I could hear. And and also as I got closer to the back door, I felt a familiar fear and dread come up in me. And I felt my open, energized body instantly close into a tight ball deep inside somewhere safe, somewhere protected. I heard the screech of the screen door as I entered the kitchen. Mother was huddled against the counter with a look of fear on her face, that I'd seen many times before. I was scared for her and I wanted to help her. Within the moment, at the peak of his rage, my father put his fist through the white sheetrock wall in the kitchen. Instantly, the room became quiet. And yet, there was a hole in the wall as evidence to his rage. That house felt dark and small to me often, and I was confused a lot. Not much made sense. I felt unsafe, unwanted, unloved, and unlovable. But when I was outside, all that changed. Everything I touched, felt, and heard instantly made sense to me. I was at home outdoors, surrounded by love. My love for nature and nature's love for me. It was a feeling of well being that carried me through the difficult years of my childhood and held me gently in patience, wisdom, quiet strength, and compassion. I didn't have the words back then, but I realize now that I was feeling my connection to all that is a love and a freedom, rich and deep, and so much bigger than I was. And I loved it. And I'm wondering how many of you, let me know in the chat, how many of you have had a similar experience like that before? Maybe outdoors, maybe with a good book or a piece of art. Oh, I'm sorry. Click and share your PowerPoint. Oh, you don't. Okay. Um, I will. I'm almost ready for another slide. Thank you. Um, let's see. Where was I? Oh, yes. Checking in with you all. Somebody has beautiful. Yes. I believe this experience of oneness and well-being is inherent in all of us. And when we can step into our inborn value and resonate there, we can experience radiant well being and the joy that comes with it. I experienced oneness and well being pretty frequently as a child until I was about 10 or 11. And as I moved into my teen years, especially high school and college, I was spending a lot more time with my friends and less time in wild open spaces outdoors. I was living my conditioning. I was personable, easy to get along with, somewhat reserved, and blocked to my emotions. It would be several years down the road before that would change for me. And I was 29 when it did. I was sitting in my living room one evening, a comfortable room with warm yellow carpet and warm paneled walls. My husband and I were going to dinner, and I was really excited. I was wearing a brand new dress that I absolutely loved. And what I loved about this dress was how I felt in it. I felt radiant in this dress. Have you ever had the experience of the very first time you put something on, it felt to be a part of you and it rocked your world? I'm watching the chat to see, yes, wonderful. You know how that is. That's how I felt. My husband walked in the room and I heard him say without emotion, "If you were that, we're not going to dinner." Quickly, I recognized what I was feeling. I felt unregarded. I felt disregarded, unseen, unappreciated, and clearly not receiving his genuine interest or caring. So rather than doubt myself or question my emotions, like I often did back then, or perhaps change to please him, I honored myself. I chose the feeling of vitality and fullness running through me. And that's the moment in my life when I began honoring my inner world and my inner guidance, which that night was showing up as vitality, love, truth, and well being. And that's what I felt outdoors as a kid. I wasn't going to trade that in for anything that night. I've experienced a lot of changes in my life: cities, careers, people, furniture. But ever since that night, the one constant in my life has been my commitment to well being. Soon after that evening, I started working with a therapist, and we began peeling back the layers of my conditioning. And I was experiencing fear, anger, and sadness that I had secretly held underneath the facade of my conditioning. Our work together eventually revealed my authentic being, inherent value, inherent joy, and wisdom. As I continued to honor my inner world, eventually I licensed as a professional counselor. And that's how I engage my passion in the world today. I support the journey of others toward their well being and inherent value. So I'm excited to share with you today. And I would like to start with noticing. I have a slide for you around that. Noticing is being. Noticing is not judging. It's not having a story about what we're seeing. It's seeing what is without adding our personal interpretation to it. There's no assessment, no agenda, no evaluation, and no personal interpretation. So I want you to imagine with me for a moment. You're home and you hear it raining. It starts to rain. And you go to your front porch. It's a covered front porch. You step out to the porch. You hear the rain. You see the rain. You see car lights down the street. You hear thunder in the distance. And you hear a patter on the roof overhead, the patter of the rain. You can smell a freshness in the air. And you feel a chill on your skin from the coolness of the air. This is noticing. It's just being with what is, what you see, hear, taste, feel, and touch. On the other hand, creating story is seeing through a filter. Creating story is stepping into our conditioning, seeing through a filter. Our conditioning is a set of beliefs that we develop, we acquire, we learn, that help us see who we are, who others are, and what the world is, and how to be in the world. So let's go back to our example again. You're home, you hear it rain, you go to your front porch, and the first thought that came to your mind is, why is it raining? It just rained yesterday. I wish it wasn't raining. Or maybe you have the thought, I can't make my meeting tonight if it's raining. Or maybe you have some relief and you have the feeling and the thought, well, I'm glad it's raining. My plants are going to get water. My yard's going to look great and people are going to want to visit me. These are interpretations. They're personal interpretations. They're not observable facts. So they're unique to you. They're seeing through your own filter. Noticing is not seeing through a filter. Noticing is unconditioned mind, pure awareness. I'm going to show you another slide. So I want to introduce the 3 tenets for radiant well-being. Tenet number 1, true well-being is inherent. You were born valuable. You'll always be valuable. It's your natural beingness and it's unconditioned mind. Tenet number 2, your conditioning is rooted in early family environment or wherever you spent your earliest years. And again, your conditioning is that set of beliefs that you learned that give you a sense of self and how to see the world. Number 3, extrinsic value cannot fill the longing for intrinsic value. Extrinsic value is what we gain when we're recognized for something outside of ourselves, like an award or an achievement or something we own or even how we look. You'll find as we do a deeper dive into each one of these today that they all intersect and relate. So let's roll forward to tenet number 1. True well-being is inherent. Has anybody ever told you that you are inherently valuable? Has the value that you've been recognized for been relative to something outside of you? We typically don't ask ourselves these questions very often. So I want to visit our story for a moment, for an example. So I was 6 years old. I was riding my bike outdoors or out in the field, and I was alive with a passion and a vitality much bigger than my 6-year-old body. That was inherent. That was not my conditioning. The feelings of freedom, joy, those were not part of my conditioning. I did not feel those at home. Passion, aliveness, nope, not part of my conditioning. Those were inherent feelings for me. My conditioning was to not feel and to withdraw. And when I was outdoors, I felt safe and free and naturally plugged into my inherent way of feeling. I want to invite you to engage with me in imagining right now. So get comfortable in your seat, in your chair, and close your eyes. I invite you to close your eyes and just begin to notice your breath. Just your natural rhythm of breathing in and breathing out. And just continue to breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your body get heavy in the chair and relax. Imagine that you're going through your day with a belief that you're already valuable, just as you are, simply being. That there's nothing to do, nothing to achieve or perform in order to feel valuable. There's nothing to buy, no one to please, nothing to acquire to feel valuable. You already are. I wonder what might feel different in your day. What might you feel? What might be different in your choices? Do you often make choices to prove your value? or to earn it. I wonder what it might be like if you were to have the experience of clear awareness, clear awareness of your inherent value, and make choices from that place. And what if you were able to live every day or almost every day in this way? What might be different in your life? Maybe your career, your relationships, your family, how you see yourself or your finances. I want you to identify 3 words that best describe what you're feeling right now. And when you're ready, open your eyes and connect with the space out here. And I invite you to write those 3 words down so you'll have them for yourself. But I also want to invite you to put them in the chat. Yes, relaxed, safe, clarity, beautiful. Yes. We'll roll on to tenet number 2. Your conditioning. Do we have another one? Oh, it is. Good. Wonderful. Tenet number 2. Your conditioning is rooted in your early family environment or wherever that is that you spent your earliest years. And those years 0 to 7, those are magic years. Those are the years that our conditioning is most impactful to us. So that by the time we're 7 years old, our conditioning is set. So, I mean, imagine this by the time you were 7, your conditioning was pretty well set. So, let's explore what is so significant about ages 0 to 7. We all come into this world. We've all been right here where this newborn is. And we come into this world unconditioned mind, pure awareness, core beingness. And this is the home of inherent value. This newborn is 100% dependent on its parent or caregiver for survival. So it's going to adapt to the parent's environment. That's conditioning. Ages 0 to 7 are significant because our brain waves are moving at a very slow pace at that point in our life. Alpha, delta, theta. We're in a hypnotic state of brain, and we just unconsciously absorb everything around us, and it becomes our world, our truth. And this child, as we see in this slide, is receiving loving, caring attention from both its parents. And that affirms the child's inherent value. And that's what we want. We want to affirm the inherent value. With this family of 4, there's obviously some kind of division between the parents and perhaps also between the children. And this kind of division creates an unease in the family environment. It fosters children developing a false sense of self. So, this conditioning process is unconscious, completely unconscious, and it affects our thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. In our next slide, we're looking at some common beliefs that are part of people's conditioning. And these beliefs are worth and lovability beliefs. As we skim through these beliefs, I want you to notice if there are any of these that stand out for you. And if there are, write it down because we're going to come back to it later. I'm only lovable when I'm good. My needs are a burden. I have to earn love. I'm not enough. I shouldn't take up space. If people really knew me, they wouldn't stay. So let's look at these. These are common achievement and performance beliefs. And these are examples. There are far more that people experience, but these are common examples. And again, notice if one of these really sticks out for you and write it down. My value comes from achievement. Mistakes mean failure. I can't disappoint people. If I slow down, I'll fall behind. There's no room for mediocrity. Rest is lazy. I'd like to visit the story again for an example. My family. I grew up in a family where there was loud yelling and abusive behavior, and I needed to adapt. So my mind body created this system, this little collection of beliefs and perceptions that I learned in my family. And so I learned, this gave me a sense of self, and it also provided some protection for me at home and out in the world. So by the time I was 7, I knew how not to feel, how not to speak out, and how to withdraw. And I lived that conditioning everywhere I went, except outdoors. I felt safe and free outdoors. It did not come up. But at school and with my friends' houses, I lived that conditioning. And later in my life, when I worked with a therapist, and I learned about noticing, and I learned how to notice what I was experiencing without judging and without making a story out of it. And in that, my world opened up. I learned how to step outside this box of my conditioning and see that the conditioning was not who I was. I was so much more than that. So my world opened up with people and a world of learning and growth and possibilities and self-love. When we can step outside our conditioning, we can make a new choice. So let's go back to that the belief that you wrote down, the one that stuck out the most for you. Whatever that was. And imagine, what if you were to replace that belief with one that affirms your inherent value? What might be different in your life? And if you were to replace that, which I am inviting you to do, what would you replace it with? Something that affirms your inherent value. And I'm inviting you to do that right this moment. Make it simple, make it easy, and make it inherently valuable about you. And I'd love it if you'd share in the chat so we can see. I noticed there's a question in the chat, and I wanted to let you know that it works best for me to address questions at the end. So feel free for any of you to put your questions in the Q&A, that second little icon down there.
Yes, Rebecca, it was a wonderful talk. And we have a few questions from our audience, Rebecca.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it okay? I don't know how to gauge my time with that. So is it best to, I mean, I can address them now, or I can address them at the end at the Q&A.
Yeah, it's your wish. It's okay to answer one of the question, please.
Okay, and I'm happy to do that, but then I don't know about gauging the time that I have left for my
Yeah, you have a 10 more minutes, Rebecca.
I have what?
You have a 10 more minutes.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
for the total talk?
yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Uh, what beliefs are shaping your current sense of well-being?
is that my new beliefs? Well, I wonder if getting through the talk would be helpful. I
Okay.
wonder if some of the questions will be answered. Um,
Okay.
uh, Perhaps not. It's just, um, let's see, there's that one. What beliefs are current shaping my current sense of well-being? Um, it's more an experience. It's what I have felt. It's not a belief. It becomes a belief. I believe I'm inherently valuable. But as at 6 years old on my bike, I didn't I didn't have a belief. It was total feeling. Total I was free outside. I didn't have a belief outside. I just was free and enjoying myself. And so um it just came. I mean, honestly, it was a gift. It was a profound gift. And I see that now. I didn't see it earlier in my life. Um, but I'd say since then, I know it to be true. And I believe it to be true for all of us because I'm not special in that respect. I'm I don't deserve that any more than anybody else. I believe it's in all of us. And when I experience it, when I experience that place of inherent value, it's not just me. It's all of us. We're all there. It's not like me as an individual feeling valuable. I feel all of us there. That's that connection to oneness. Um, so, and that doesn't require belief. Actually, it's a letting go of beliefs in being with what is without a story. If that's, is that helpful? And I know I can't see you. I'm used to seeing my audience, so I can't lay eyes on you right now, but I hope that was helpful.
Thank you
Uh,
so much, Rebecca, and thank you so much for your valuable time today. We have gained so much of knowledge. The talk you delivered was amazing. Thank you so much.
oh,
And
you're welcome.
yeah,
Do you want me to do I have time to finish?
yeah,
Or
we are already, yeah, you have 2 more minutes, Rebecca, if you want to say
so
anything. Yes,
2
please.
more minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to touch on the third tenet, that extrinsic value cannot fill the longing for intrinsic value. I believe that we all have a longing for our connection to intrinsic value, but I believe we get sidetracked into seeking extrinsic value to satisfy that. But before I have to hop off, I want to share with you, I'm offering you a PDF to download. And so it's available here on this QR code, or you can also do the screen shoot and access the link directly that way. But be sure and download this PDF, 10 Ways to Cultivate Your Radiance. Each one of those 10 ways is designed to support your demonstration of your inherent well-being, your value. I also want to share my contact information. As a practicing psychotherapist and life coach, I'm excited to be available for you for one-on-one sessions. I also do groups and workshops, and I'm offering a class in April, a 4-week class on cultivating well-being from the inside out. I would love to see you there. I would love to support your radiant well-being. And I want to thank you for joining me here today. I don't know how I'm doing on time. Do I have time for some questions and answers? Okay. I guess I'm still on. I can take some questions. I'm going to pop over the questions. Yeah, they're all in the chat then, aren't they? Yeah. Great. So it looks like I'm still live. So I don't know how much time that will be. Oh, thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think until I'm not live, I will respond to one more question. What fears are preventing you from embracing your authentic self? Are are you asking me or are you asking you? Or is it a general question? What fears do we have that prevent us from embracing our authentic self? It's a great question. Yeah. And some of those I think we share with each other. And uh, uh, some of those I think that we share with each other. And some of those are uniquely ours. What is one small step you can take today to honor your well being? You'll have 10 steps. You'll have 10 steps in your download, your PDF. You'll have 10 ways to demonstrate your inherent well being. So I'd like to ask you, what is one step you could take today to honor your well being? So, are there any other questions I can answer?
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for answering few questions.
Oh,
And if we
yeah, I
have
have
any
a
other
question.
questions, we will post it to your email so you can respond there.
I'm sorry. Here's the QR code again. I know I had a request for the QR code. And then Melinda, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yes. Thank you so much for your time, Rebecca. And
Oh, you're very welcome. You're so welcome.
thank
Yeah.
you. And please be on the backstage and join in the next session, Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have some place I need to be at 2 o'clock, but well, about an hour from now.
Okay.
But,
Thank
but
you so
I'll
much. Bye.
thank you. Bye.